Hello, good evening, and welcome to the second edition of the Thursday Club. I'm joined again by Dan, my co-host. Welcome, pal.
Pleasure as always, mate.
Brilliant, brilliant, pal. So the January trend down, the transfer window has come to a close. I think we're going to go through the players, and we'll start and go through like the outs, and then we'll go through the ins and see where we're at. Obviously, there's going to be quite a lot to talk about towards the back end of the ins and the outs with regards to obviously Keelan Dunn going out and not coming back in. And I think we've both got a lot to say there, and we'll discuss that further on. But we'll go through them there. We'll go through what's gone out and what's coming. Go through one by one, and we'll see where we're at. So let's start with some of the outs then, because some of them were quite obvious, mate. And I don't
Yep.
think some of them had that much of an effect on the squad, if I'm going to be honest. So, me personally, I would have liked to have kept Russell. I thought he'd been utilised very poorly this season. He could have been utilised a lot more, but I think there must have been something going on behind the scenes. But so
Yeah.
the first out was, I want to say Jake Rooney going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
No,
Jake. I mean, I don't really have out against the lad, but he just seemed like we put him in. I think we put him in central defence for a game, and he didn't look particularly good or comfortable. Yeah, I'm trying to be diplomatic. Ryan, but
There's
yeah.
not. There's
And then
no
we
need
put
for
him.
a lot of diplomacy on this one, mate. Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I am absolutely fucked off to my back teeth. I'm
Yeah.
absolutely fucking
Well,
feeding about what happened on Monday. So don't worry, let it
yeah,
out, mate.
yeah, we're bottling. I'm bottling it up, Ryan. I'm bottling it up and letting it all. So stay
Yeah,
tuned for that. But yeah, Jake, we put him at left back against Doncaster Rovers, I believe. And
yeah,
he didn't look comfortable there either. I think he needs to start a bit at a lower level. I think the fact that we went in for him and put him in that weren't it weren't a good signing for us in first place.
yeah.
So yeah, no, which lad all best. Just didn't work out.
Yeah, not League One level, mate.
No.
Panic signing, right end at window. They knew they needed to get an extra centre back in, left it too late, like they do, like they've just done this window and fucked it up again. But what I say, we'll come to that. And surprisingly enough, it didn't work out, and he's gone to non-league. There you go. That's where
Yeah.
I don't want to have a go at the lad. He's just not. He's nowhere near League One level. Luke
Mm,
Molyneux had an absolute field day with him when he played left back at Donny,
yeah.
and he come off at half time, and I think that were about all we saw of him in first team. Anyway, so Jake Rooney goes back, obviously with our well wishes, but it obviously didn't work out for us. And then we had John Russell go out on loan to Mansfield. Bit of a strange one for me. That one, I personally, I would have liked to have kept John. I thought he were excellent last season. I thought he's got a lot of experience at this level. I thought he could have been managed a lot better. So that's probably out of all of them, and maybe Murphy Cooper. Out of all of them, they're the ones that I'm probably disappointed with. John Russell were disappointed with, but personally, I think he wanted to go into summer down, and he didn't get his move, and he just didn't seem the same player. So maybe the move was the right thing, but I think he was actually mismanaged. I thought they could have pulled it round, but sending him to like another League One team that are going to be in and around where we are, sort of mid-table. But a bit of a strange one. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, we John Russell, he were a bit, he blew hot and cold, really, didn't he, in regards to performances. That's an understatement of the century. But yeah, no. But overall, I mean, off the back of last season, I mean, he started to look like he was coming into his own a little bit. He'd found that sort of position. He found a bit of
Yeah,
form, and would I have kept him off the back of that season? I think I would have done, even just as a rotation option. But unfortunately, I can't begin to fathom the logic of the club recently and the club's hierarchy. But
yeah,
but again, we'll get onto that later. But my instincts on this situation was that maybe we'd just got a new manager in. Connor didn't fancy him, or he fancied, he were always going to play another player over him, and he just wanted him. He probably wanted him out. He might have wanted him out of picture. That were my instincts at the time.
yeah.
And if that was the case, then I can sort of see it. But yeah, so it was sad to see him go, actually. And again,
Yeah.
loaning him out to Mansfield. He's at
Sorry
end of
about
his
that.
contract as well. And he's just not, is it fantastic business on our end? No, because we're going to get absolutely sod all money for him.
Should have got it summer, mate. Should have sold him at summer, but I don't know if any
Yeah,
bids came in. If we're holding out for too much brass, who fucking knows with this lot? I don't know. Like fucking Billy
yeah.
Smart circus in it, so who knows? Anyway, next one, just a quick mention for Bailey McCann. Obviously, Bailey's featured in a couple of the Peter Cup or Bristol Street Motors Trophy, whatever they're called. He's been mainly in the under-21s, but he's gone and joined his dad at Doncaster. Not much else to say. Never really featured in first team. Wish him well. I think he's probably got a really bright future as Bailey. So, best of luck,
No,
pal. Hope it works out for you. But he hasn't had any effect on the first team because he's not really broke into the first team yet. So I think
yeah,
that
no more to add on that one.
there's not much else we can say, is there really, apart from good luck,
Yeah,
Bailey. So,
yeah, definitely.
Caleum Vickers going back down. Now this one was a strange one, and also one that was slightly just. I understood why he went back when he went back because he wasn't performing. But what happened to him when he came in and he was playing at right wing and he looked like the coming of the Messiah. It was really, really good. The fans loved him. When he was playing on that right wing, he was so talented. He looked so talented. He really quick feet, getting in and out of really tight spaces, playing some beautiful football. He is very slight, but he looked to be a real oh my God, this kid is good. This kid is good. You know what I mean? He sort of became a fan favourite quite quickly. And then from nowhere, mate, he dropped off face of earth and then barely featured again. So I don't know if it's because he were finding it difficult the further he got into the season, or whether it's because he put him in at centre midfield, or he asked to play at centre midfield and he simply weren't physical enough to play that position against League One shithouse defenders. So I don't know. It seems like a difficult. It was so good when he first came, and then it was complete night and day by the time he left. So, what's your thoughts, Dan, on Caleum Vickers?
Chuffing out, we drink too quick. Yeah, I think with Caleum Vickers it's a strange one, and I think because obviously he's quite a young lad as well. I think once his form started to dip off, I think his confidence fell quite considerably, and I think as well when we saw him, when you're a winger, they're very good to watch. In the sense of like when because they need to be skillful, they need to try and cut inside, they don't have a shot and all that sort of stuff, and we saw that from Caleum. But I think also what it is these days with scouting and how tactical it is. We saw players doubling up on Caleum. Now, you could also say, fair enough, that Reyes, they'd also double up on Reyes as well. But I think I saw where Reyes probably looks at it and thinks, right, I'm going to try and do things a bit differently. I'm going to try and drop a bit deeper, try and take one defender out of game. Caleum looked like he really, really struggled with that aspect. He just seemed to look lost, and they were pushing him further and further out wide. And if you're Caleum Vickers and you've got the ability that he has, and he evidently does have a lot of ability, you're going to want to be. He's going to want to be outside of that area. He's going to want to be on that. He's going to want to straight outside 18-yard area and be as close to goal as possible, because that's when he can he's in the best position to cut inside or take on a defender to get ball across or have a shot himself. So yeah, I think it might have just been a confidence thing with him, and I think Connor. I think maybe he's not been probably because it's a very results driven business. And Connor's took a decision to drop him, and maybe he's seen other players thinking, yeah, I fancy them a bit more in that position. When it comes to January, we'll let Caleum go.
Yeah,
And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can't have done that bad, Ryan. I mean, Wigan's bought him in Winder, haven't they? I saw that. That he'd been.
It's a loan. It's another loan, mate. It's definitely it is another loan. They haven't
Oh,
signed
is
him.
it?
I
I
heard
thought it'd gone on a permanent
there
transfer.
were
Sorry.
rumours it were going to be a permanent, yeah, but no, it's definitely a loan, mate. 'Cause I saw the release from it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, to be fair, we
So
replaced Caleum with Scott Banks, and we'll touch on Scott Banks earlier, and
yeah.
he's a lot better and a lot more experienced. But again, I thought he did well for us. I thought he did a lot. He played some really good games for us, Caleum. So again, just wish him well, really. But it turned out to be the right
Definitely.
decision. I just think that he could have been used a lot more than he was, and I feel for the lad a little bit. But we've replaced him with Scott Banks, so it has actually worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So next one, Murphy Cooper. This one came completely out of the blue for me. I did not see this coming one bit, did you? Because he played at Liverpool
No.
game, and next day he's gone. Such a strange one. It's rumoured that he were on quite high wages. We needed to reduce the wage bill, so we got Goodman in for a lot less. And Connor did want Goodman in the summer. Goodman were available. He brought Goodman in, which I'm sure we're going to touch on Goodman in a bit. And Murphy Cooper went back to QPR, and now he's at Wednesday. So really strange one. I quite like Murphy Cooper. I think he were a little bit. He works the best with taking crosses and stuff like that, but he was a fantastic shot stopper. Made some great saves for us. He really did. So a bit of a strange one, me, for that, mate. I didn't get it, and I don't think that. We'll touch on Goodman, but in a bit when we do the ins. But I don't think Owen Goodman's a better replacement. So I think it was just a purely financial thing, and I think it's bit us on arse a little bit.
Yeah, I think as well with Murphy Cooper. I think I don't listen. I know that Murphy Cooper made mistakes. I'm not delusional in thinking that he didn't, but he's still a relatively young goalkeeper. He was. I did have a feeling that he were a bit scapegoated by Barnsley fans on reflection. I mean,
Yeah,
I would argue that if they're in position of scoring so many times, then you probably need to be looking at your two centre halves or as a defensive
yeah,
unit, rather than looking at goalkeeper. I mean, if they're beating him for 30 yards and they're letting it slip through his hands, then that's a different kettle of fish.
yeah.
But I don't think he were. I think he were expected to play out front back. I were expected to play out front back. I don't think playing out front back were his strength.
No, but he's more comfortable on ball, Dan. He's more comfortable. A lot more comfortable on ball than Owen Goodman is.
Yeah. If the fact that high wages came into the conversation where it usually doesn't would lean towards that this were more of a financial decision rather than massive concerns about the level of performances. I think it was
100%.
a very different situation to what we've just previously discussed with Caleum Vickers. I think it was quite so. I'm sad to see him go. Of course, of course I am. And
I'd like to say I wish him well,
I think,
Dan. I'd like to say I wish him well, but he's gone to Wednesday, so
yeah,
I don't.
yeah. Well, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's. Well, he's got it team at week, can he? You see that? But Wednesday.
Yes, he has, mate. Well, funny enough, Dan, that nicely segues on to the next bit, which is the next goalkeeper that went out on loan, who was actually our own goalkeeper in Jackson Smith, who has not only kept 7 clean sheets since he went to Grimsby, 7. That's 3.5 times more than we have all season. Just putting that out there. Yeah, we are bottom of the table, by the way, in clean sheets. Did you see that? That come out today. We are 24th.
I didn't. I hadn't seen it. I don't want to depress
We have the least
myself,
clean
Ryan,
sheets
to
in
be
the whole
honest.
league, mate. Yeah, which is well, there you go. Anyway, Jackson Smith has got clear 7, and he's been named the League 2 Player of the Month, and that's our own goalkeeper. And he's gone out on loan. We didn't even have to bring Goodman in. It'd have been more financial sense to either stick Jackson Smith or Flav in, and we wouldn't have had his wage to pay neither. He said, honestly, mate, there's some of the decisions that have been taken this January window are fucking mind-boggling. Well, it's more really since these lot have been in, some of the decisions have been made, but just I don't get it. I don't get it. But when the keeper's gone out and clipped 7 clean sheets for Grimsby, obviously probably got a solid defence in front of him. It's not just about the goalkeeper. Obviously, it's a defensive unit as a team. But
Mm.
he's gone out and got lead player at month, and he were our own keeper. And we could have stuck him in. And when we sent Murphy Cooper back, and we haven't. We sent him out to Grimsby. It's fucking lunacy, mate.
Well,
I'm sorry for swearing, but
it's one of the decisions. It's one of many decisions, Brian. You've just put it perfectly. It's one of many decisions that shows a a not very good level of competency. Let's just call it for what it is. It's no competency.
that's been polite as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna save my thingy on the board for just a little bit longer until we get onto the subject, the heart of the transfer window. Let's say.
Yeah, the heart of it. The last.
But no, I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't. If you're not going to play him, what's the point? If you're not going to play him, then what's the point in signing him? That's the I look at one of the people we're going to get onto in a bit. We had that window where we bought players, and we haven't played them in any capacity. And it's genuinely mind-boggling how you put players from League Two. You were willing to loan them out to players from League Two because you think that's where the level they're at, and then you sign players from League Two, or lower leagues, and then you put them in the first team. It literally doesn't make any sense whatsoever what they are trying to do.
It makes none whatsoever, mate. They just don't know what they've done. They don't know what they're doing, mate. They don't know what we have got. Non-footballing men running the fucking recruitment team. They are clearly not listening to Connor. They're not listening to Connor. Not all the time, anyway. Because how long would he speak? We'll get onto it. But how long would he asking for a pacey striker and extra bodies in up front all window? Yeah. Every single conference, every single fucking one, every single time he mentioned it, and they've let him down. The wankers. But anyway, we'll get letting it out a bit early. But so Jackson Smith, don't get that one. Should be playing for us. His own player. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't. So, next one, mate, was Jallow to go out. I think that was the right decision for Jallow to go out. I know that we're a bit light up front. Correct. Jallow's an incredibly talented footballer, or looks an incredibly talented footballer, but I'm actually yet to see it. We first started seeing him during the Duff season, and we've seen little snippets of him here and there. Some games where he looks brilliant, some games where he looks... This sounds horrible because I'm not the slimmest person in the world, but looks overweight for a professional footballer. And that sounds horrible because I'm a lot fatter than he is. But what I mean is, for a professional footballer, he looks a little bit overweight.
Well, I look like I'm fucking eating him. So that's.
I know he sounds horrible. I'm not trying to say he's fat, but I'm on about for a pro footballer, he looks a little bit chunky than the other lads. I just think he is. I think he will be. I'm confident Jallow will be a good player for us. I think he's just been really unlucky with injuries, and he's obviously had this nasty one, and he's just not ready to play League One football yet. And I think that going out to Oldham is a good idea for him. He's going to get roughed. He's going to get roughed up there in League Two. He's going to have to go out there and fight for his place, and he's going to get knocked about a bit, and it might toughen him up a bit. So I think that would a good move.
Any more on the outs?
Any more on the outs before we get to DKD?
No, I don't think there is any. I think
Connor Barrett. Connor Barrett's gone out, and Casper Lopetar's gone out on loan. I mean, the lad, mate. Again, I've got no. I haven't got a problem with Casper. I thought that when he came to us, when he came non-league, I thought he's going to be terrible. Actually, until his injury at Northampton, when he dislocated his shoulder, I thought he was actually really bright. I thought I was quite impressed with him. He obviously weren't as good as Mads, Kitch, and Bobby Thomas who had had the season before. But let's face it, we've been spoilt rotten with those three at the back. I don't think we realised just how good them three were. I don't think we'll see that calibre of centre back at Barnes again for decades. So, especially with clubs going to win it. So,
I think as well, you could probably put Casper under the same sort of umbrella as Jackson. As in they were both signing a window. not particularly getting opportunity or
Yeah,
many opportunities. They and then they've sold them at they've done naught but loan them out ever since. So
yeah.
even
Just
when we're
want
lacking in that
poor, just
position,
poor recruitment. Anyway, he's gone to Wickham, not Wickham. Sorry, he's gone to Walsall. Apologies. So yeah, best luck to that. And then Connor Barrett's gone. I want to set somewhere in non-league. I quite like Connor.
Galway, isn't it? Somewhere?
Whenever I've seen him, I've been quite impressed with him when he's played in the Pizza Cup games and a couple of other games he's played in. I think he's a big, strong lad. I think he has got a future at Barnsley. I don't think he's quite ready for League One yet, but I quite like Connor Barrett. Every time I see him, I think, yeah, he's a decent laker, this lad. So hopefully his loan goes well. So Connor Barrett's gone out as well. So Dan, to the big one. We lost Davis Keeler Dunn to Wrexham on about 6:30 on Monday that it was announced. I think it was the worst kept secret in Barnsley for pretty much after he gave his extra round of applause to the fans at Oakwell on Saturday after his fantastic performance against Stevenage. I just want to preface this, mate. I want to preface this with to thank Davis. I think he was wonderful
Absolutely.
for it, mate. What a player! What a talent! Thoroughly deserves his opportunity to play in the Championship. To get a 28-year-old, he needs to have that opportunity because he's only going to have so many years left where he can operate at the top, the sort of top echelons, where like top end of the Championship, hopefully Premier League, and earn that money to set himself up, him and his young family up for life. So I don't begrudge him one bit. I think he deserves to play at that level, and he ain't going to play at that level with Barnsley, mate. He just isn't, because we have got dickheads for owners, and that's it. We've got absolute knobheads running this club, and we're going. The only way we're getting out of this division is into League Two, mate. We're going nowhere near fucking Championship. But I just think he was brilliant, and he's not just his ability for me, Dan. It was his contribution and his effort when he was wearing our shirt. He loved playing for Barnsley. He gave it everything. He spoke so well. He was very passionate about playing for us. In the summer, there were a lot of offers coming in, but he wanted to stay here. He wanted to be here, and it says a lot about him. He seemed a real character, such a talent, mate. He's going to be a massive miss. But I'm really pleased for the lad that he got his move. But I'm fucking gutted, mate. To be honest.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm glad you've gone on to this instead of like we've gone straight into. Obviously, the fundamentals are in being gone, but I can tell it's his attitude. His attitude has been second to none. He's been a fantastic player, fantastic addition. He were, he would. I even look at like the statement he put out. I know that obviously footballers, when they go, they all have sort of generalised statements, but you felt it. You felt it.
Yeah.
You felt that he'd said that, and I mean, even like, even from his missus is a TikToker, and she put it on like a TikTok account and saying how much she enjoyed going to games to watch him, and his family have been on, liking stuff on Twitter written by fans.
Yeah.
He's just a genuinely really good lad, and I couldn't ever fault him.
Oh, absolutely.
Anything he's done for the club, and he'll be sorely missed. Completely understand why he wants to go to Wrexham.
Opportunity and Brads, mate. That's what it is.
Well, listen. Despite my thingy around Wrexham, let's just talk facts. They are sixth in the table. They are on an absolute rocket up the divisions. How they've done it and what they do is another story for another day. But but you can't knock the lad. He's 28. He's going to have to make some. He's played at lower levels for most of his career. He needs to make money, and also he's going to want to challenge himself in top echelons at Championship, if not the Premier League. So, but where our transfer policy is, when he gets to about 58, he's going to probably come back. So it's
come back as head coach.
There's always. Yeah. So we'll leave door up and open for him on that if we're still a club by then.
Absolutely. So best of luck to him. I've got no. But listen, big players leave clubs all the time across the entire world, right up to the very tops of the game. We've seen in the years by, we've seen big players leave clubs every season, every transfer window. Big players leave. It's not a thing that's that's only happens at Barnsley. In fact, to be fair, it's the first time since January 2019 that we've let one of our big players go in the January transfer window. So this sort of thing that we're a selling club is not really that true at the moment. But for me, Dan, it's not what you do when you lose. It's not about losing the player. It's about what you
Yep.
do after you've lost the player and the planning and everything else that goes into it. So I don't know what you want to do. Should we get to the end and talk about the replacement or the invisible fucking replacement for DKD and how it was managed? Or do you want to do that now, or should we do the incomings first?
I think your viewers have waited long enough now, Ryan, to be honest,
Yeah,
for
let's
us
fucking do
to
it.
yeah.
Let's not bore them before we get to that bit.
Yeah, do you want to start, mate? Fire away.
So for me, honestly, mate, on Monday, it were a mixture of heartbroken and really, really upset, and just sheer fucking anger, mate. I was so cross. I was so pissed off. Honestly, it's been a long time since I've been that upset with the club, because I'm quite a positive person. I'm quite positive about the club. I'm certainly not an happy clapper, but I'm also not the just falling out with club at every single opportunity like some people are online, which I kind of understand their frustrations, but it were piss poorly managed. All they had to do was get a fucking striker in, mate. That's all they had to do was get another one in. This is nothing against Tom Bradshaw. I actually think the Bradshaw signing is a good signing if he was going to be used as he should have been used, which I'm sure that's what Connor wanted him for, which is to be a backup, which a good, experienced Championship level and League One level striker, although he's not worked out for him quite as much at Oxford. He knows the club. He's played for us before. I think the Bradshaw one is a good signing had we brought another one in, but we didn't, and we just have not invested one penny of the DKD money, but we knew it would come in. You can't say that it turned up that come out of the blue on Monday. They can't say that they didn't know that. Sure, Connor kept saying there were plans. He kept saying there were a plan in place. If somebody leaves, we've got plans. Really? Have you? I'm sure Connor did. I'm not sure them fucking idiots in offices did. It's shite, Dan. I'm fucking sick to me bastard back teeth of it. I am, honestly. I know I'm swearing quite a bit, but I'm quite passionate, and I swear when I'm passionate. So I apologise if I offend anyone, but I'm just sick of it, mate. I'm sick of being embarrassed to be a Barnsley fan. I'm sick of fucking limping by. It's embarrassing, mate. People are laughing at us. We've got fans from other clubs all over saying they take it piss out of you. Yeah, we know. Thanks for reminding us. But yeah, they are absolutely taking piss out of us. But I think this situation, we're not getting this striker, and especially when Connor said every single press conference, every single fucking one he's had in January, he said, I need a striker. I need a pacey striker. I need extra bodies in up front. We need at least, and we don't lose anybody, we need at least another one to cope with the workload. They knew what were coming in. They knew what Connor were asking for. They know what's required. You know what? They've stuck two fingers up and gone, no, I'm going to take the money. You're going to have to fucking deal with what you've got, and that's it. And I am absolutely fucking disgusted, mate. Honestly, I am so pissed off. And I completely understand why so many fans are just not going. How many people online are saying with season tickets, mate, saying, I ain't going. I've got a season ticket, I ain't going, and I ain't renewing. Season tickets, my word, will be under 5k this season. Will be under 5,000. I don't know if I'm going to renew yet. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But because I just keep thinking, if I'm investing my time and my money and my efforts to get there, why should I do that consistently when you can't even be asked to give? You can't, not only about for the fans and for the club, for your fucking manager, your coach. They sold him down river again. They've sold the coach down river again in January transfer window. Neil Collins, Darryl Clark, Conor Hourian. Every single fucking one, last three, they've shafted him. Shafted him. They're a disgrace, mate. They're a disgrace, and people can say Nareev's a good bloke, he loves the club, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure he does, but you know what I mean? At the end of the day, the outcome's the same. They either can't put the money in, right? They either can't because they're skint and they can't afford to, or they don't want to. Either way, we've got the same fucking outcome, which is we're not putting any money back into the squad. Everything's been frees and loans. And to get rid of your best player, our leading goal scorer last season, our leading goal scorer so far this season, to lose him in the middle of the season, right, for what's rumoured to be 2.5 mil with add-ons up to 4 mil, right, which is good money. It's good money, don't get me wrong. That's a good deal, right, to invest none of it. I mean, not one fucking penny back into the playing squad when we're desperate for bodies, we're desperate for somebody else to come back in, and they don't do it so they can get themselves fucked all the way off. I am absolutely sick to it. I'm sick of them, mate, and they can fucking... I'm done now, me, with them. I'm done. I've been prepared to give them chance after chance now, but I think this is truly the straw that brought the camel's back, mate. Go on, I've had a rant for a bit, mate. You have yours now.
Well, I mean, it's so weird, Ryan. I mean, we're just to let your viewers into some insight. I mean, when it comes to Thursday clubs, I tend to write some like sort of scripts. We don't script to what we're going to say because we say what we say and that's it. But we just put together subjects at the show, and recently I've been going through alt fans forums and having a look at what Near I've said in past, and there has been several inconsistencies. But the one thing that really got me, Ryan, was when somebody asked him, he says, "Why are you doing this? Why have you decided to buy Barnsley?" This is way back early when he'd taken over from Conway, and he described it as a passion project, and I think the term of that absolutely amazes me, because it is the only passion project I've ever seen without any even molecule of passion. There is no passion at Barnsley Football Club at the moment. The only passion that is coming at Barnsley Football Club is from them up terraces, who are investing their hard-earned money during a cost of living crisis, having been told season after season that without what promotions is goal. And if anybody wants to deny, and if anybody who wants to deny that, I had somebody come up to me, and he came to me with good nature. I'm not having to go at any of my followers, but he says, "You know what?" He says that they aren't bull. You're wrong. I agree with you, but you're also wrong. They haven't bullshitted. They haven't bullshitted us. Listen, trust me. As somebody who lives a very boring life and who looks through fans forum and press conferences, they have lied to you. Because when you have to get promotion, you have to at least have some strategy or some plan and some resources to be able to do it.
Yeah. And
this is there's nothing there. There is nothing there. There's no strategy. There's no plan. Just the basic strategy of a manager saying, "I need a striker at this club." And you having 6 months more than 6 months, between August, September, October, November, December, start of January, for you to identify one target or 2 or 3 targets, and to end up landing not only, and I don't mean this any disrespect towards Tom Bradshaw, if he's watching, please, I don't mean this as any disrespect. We've signed a player that is going to be used by managers' own admission as a rotation option, and then sold the best striker and not reinvested any money. And on the side of that, if they want us to believe that they didn't believe Wrexham was going to match their valuation, they are either complete and pathological liars, or they are completely and utterly stupid.
Yeah.
I cannot begin to fathom anybody who is a football executive at a professional football club doing what they have done.
No, it's horrendous, mate.
And I'll tell you what, they deserve the least they could do, if they had a spine to do it, is go out, put out a press conference or press release saying, "We apologise for saying that our goal this season was promotion." And we are sorry to everybody that has bought season tickets off the back of those promises that we were gonna. You can't ever promise promotion. I understand that things happen, bad form, injuries, whatever. But they have always said the same goal's promotion. This is not a goal. It's not a goal. There's no strategy. There's no plan. It's just, you know what? At the moment, Ryan, I think it's just right. Let's get through next day. Let's just get through this day, and we'll think about what's going to happen tomorrow morning, what's going to happen on that day. Yeah. It is a shambles. It's disgusting. It's abysmal. I can't even begin to throw any more words at it. There needs to be how John Flatman has not gone back into that office and received his P45. I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. And I think it's a disrespect, and like yourself, Ryan, I've always tried to, through like what we did earlier season with survey to through different things. I've never been one that says, right, I'll tell you what, we're going to stick it on owners constantly, every minute or every day, because I know the issues are more nuanced than that. But every decision they have made over the last 4 years has made this club considerably worse.
We're a shadow.
And there has to be a time. There has to be a time where they themselves either admit to themselves that they are doing nothing but sending this club and making this club worse, or it's time that us fans decide that for them and take action and demand action.
Yeah. Patrick could be turning his grave, mate, if he could see what they were doing to this fucking club.
No,
now.
It's disgusting.
It's disgraceful, mate. Patrick had to sell the club because of his illness. And these people, and obviously had no way of knowing what these people were going to be like. And they've come in, mate, and they've, since 2017, really, with fucking old Chinley and Paul Conway trying to, people say it's worse now than it were under them. They'd have taken us under, mate. They'd have taken us under them too. Because they've taken numerous clubs under. I'm pretty certain we'd have gone under them too. So it's probably good that them two got out. And then we got a bit of a rare sunshine with these coming in 2022. They did a big press conference and stuff like that, and I thought they were quite good then, quite honest. They didn't come out with all the bullshit like Conway and Lee did about getting us into Premier League and all that bollocks. But and that season under Duff, I felt a lot more positive. Like I said, I think me and Neil said it quite a few times on Tykes TV, saying, I feel like we've got his club back. And then just from there, mate, it's been a fucking shambles. Been a shambles. Duff got out because he could see what were coming. He could see what were coming.
Oh, yeah.
Look what happened. Look what happened. Look at players we got in that window. We got, Mads went out. So Mads, Kitch went. Bobby Thomas obviously went back to Burnley at the time. Eventually ended up at Coventry. And we got Jamie McCart and Casper Lopetar and Connor thingy went that he came on Tuesday night, didn't he? For Northampton. His surname escapes me. But anyway, yeah, mate. I can't see any way forward now, mate. I see no way forward. They have when I want to point this out, and then we can move on to incomings. Connor said last week, mate, before in presser for Stevenage game, he said, come Monday, you will know the intentions of this football club for this season. And by fuck, do we know their intentions? Yeah, we know them loud and clear.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be positive. I thought that was a positive thing, saying, let's wait and see what happens. Nah. Fucking more fool me. More fool me for believing in it. Start believing in fucking Santa Claus again. I've got more chance of that. I've more chance of Santa Claus being real than fucking than our owners making us into a promotion challenging team in this division.
Yeah,
it's an embarrassment, mate. I know exactly where we are. Connor were right. We'll know exactly where we are. We know exactly where we are. I am 100%. These lot need to go now.
Yeah,
They need
I
to go,
think
mate.
they need to.
And that's it. I don't give a shit now. There's no coming back from this. There's no
If
coming
there's
back from
any,
this. And the sad thing is, Dan, sorry, mate. The sad thing
go
is,
on, sorry, pal.
all they had to do. I'm not on about investing all that money. They can't anyway under the rules. You can only reinvest 60% of any of the transfer fee coming back in anyway under the new regulations for League One and League Two. So we couldn't have invested it all. But we should have. Why did we not go out and get a strike? Why did we not have someone ready to replace? Why did we not have? I know we got told McAtee, but someone of that ilk is what I mean. Someone like an McAtee or someone like that, where we can go in, spend 500-600 grand on him, bring him in, and let's bring him in and get him in. Is he going to be a direct replacement for DKD, or are they going to be as good? Highly unlikely, but it'd have been a good replacement, and the fans would have been fine. They'd have been absolutely fine. There'd have been no need for any of this. There wouldn't have been the outcry. There wouldn't have been the kickoff. There wouldn't have been the screaming. There wouldn't have been the lowest attendance we've had in fucking 10 years in league. There wouldn't have been any of those things. And they just decided not to. And it's infuriating. It's baffling. Oh, mate, I'm fucking sick to my back. You need to go, mate. You need to go.
If he cares so much about Barnes Football Club, and he's this nice guy that everybody goes on about, Ryan, he needs to stick for sale sign up. There needs to get to a point where it's okay. We'll turn around and say, one of his favourite lines is, "Oh well, we have made mistakes, but we're going to take accountability for." The problem is with that, Ryan, is that you need to have trust that these people are going to be able to to make the right decisions. And every time we have gone round, every time that it has come for them to make a decision or to make an appointment or any sort of thing, okay, fair enough, we've got 1 or 2 transfers right. Barring that, they haven't made a good decision. There's no trust left at Barnsley between Barnsley fans and them. It's now completely gone. This is not about selling a player and being heartbroken about selling a player. We sold players before, Ryan. It's not new to us. And I have a feeling that once he comes in to next fans forum, that's if he even gets in through the pissing door to go to a fans forum. The first thing he's going to say, "Oh well, it is heartbreaking when you let go of a player." We've let go loads of players. This is about you, not you, Ryan, obviously. This is about Nirav, Flatman, and whoever is a part of that board continuously making atrocious decisions and then lying to fans all the way through.
Yeah.
And I think to me, that's a disgrace. And I
think I've said it before, mate. I think the likes of Flatman and stuff like that, mate, I think they think we're thick. I think they think because we're from Barnsley and we talk a bit funny, I think they think we're thick and they can just feed us fucking bollocks, right? And we'll just lap it up and believe it. Well, I'll tell you what, get fucked. Get fucked. Fuck all the way off, right? And when you get there, fuck off a bit more. Fuck all the way off. Get away from our football club, right? Yeah. Because you're disrespecting it. We are a shadow of our former self. When I remember what it was like when I first started going in 80s, it was still standing when I first started going in late 80s. But even since then, since it's in the club develop, and we were always a club that we were never at best. We were never at best, but we were a good club. We had some good players. We had good backing. We had good fans. Orkwell were a really noisy, difficult place to come. It's like a fucking morgue in there now. It's embarrassing. It's dead. It's absolutely dead on its arse. It's anyway. We've ranted enough for it now, Dan. It's time for him to go, mate. There's no coming back. And I've not seen a turn like this at the fans online. Like literally everybody, like 99% of the fan base is like, fucking do one, you lot. We are sick of it now. We're sick of your bullshit. We're sick of your gaslighting. We're sick of everything. We're sick of you thinking we're thick and just trying to feed us all shit that we're going to believe. Just bollocks. Go anyway. So. That said, then, Dan, so we'll quickly cover off the ins, mate. We'll have a quick discussion about them. So why don't we start with Owen Goodman? Again, I don't want to be too harsh on the lad. I just don't think he's as good as Murphy Cooper. and I think we should have played Jackson Smith, and that's it. I think he made in that first game he come in. He does make some good saves. He made a great save away at Cardiff when he tipped it onto the bar. So he's made some good saves, but Mike, he's coming out for crosses and stuff like that, mate. He frightens me every time. He just flaps at him. And and he's definitely cost us first goal on Tuesday night against Northampton, and he didn't do well with second one. He's just not commanding his area. I don't think it's a good signing. Huddersfield fans said he was the worst goalkeeper they've ever seen. It's just not right, mate, is it?
Right, yeah. So Owie Goodman, yeah. I mean, you've seen the errors. You've seen the previous errors that he's made. I'd like to think give him just a little bit more time to sort of settle. Well, we haven't really got any choice to give him more time. We've got Flavel on bench still.
Yeah.
Give him a bit more time. Try and get him to adjust. It's a difficult one, mate, because he is dropping a lot of errors. And by the way, we're going back to Murphy Cooper. If I say Murphy Cooper ain't at that level, then it's
Exactly.
Exactly. I think I don't know what they were. I think what they were thinking is, well, first of all, Connor did say that he wanted him during summer. You've also got the fact, I don't know what his contract status is, whether they think about making it a permanent transfer. I won't bank on that, by the way, but if they want to make it a permanent transfer, there's obviously that aspect to it. But yeah, he's made some glaring errors, and he hasn't shown, I haven't seen him yet being that sort of reliable pair of hands.
Yeah.
So it's a disappointing start to for him. Yeah, and I mean, let's just say I hope it improves. Obviously, I ain't got any ill will towards lad.
No, it's that game against Blackpool. I thought he was excellent. Then he's made some errors, mate.
He's
Anyway,
made some hours.
you know what I mean. We touched on the Jackson Smith earlier. Jackson Smith should have been given his opportunity, and he's proven he's been given his opportunity at Cardiff, and he's taking it with both hands. And he's our player, and we've now got a loan in where his own player's doing much better elsewhere. Honestly, fucking Fred Carno's army. Anyway, so the next one that come in. So I don't want it to sound all negative, because we have actually made some good signings in this window, and we have actually improved key areas with those signings. So first one to come in, I think, was the first one in the window actually, Dan, which was Owen O'Connell. I'm really impressed with O'Connell. I think he's a really solid, experienced centre back who's brought quite a bit of stability at the back. I know that sounds daft because still conceding goals, but he looks so calm on the ball. He wins everything. He's a good professional. Is that lad? He's a good, solid centre back, and just what we needed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've been impressed with him. I know that there's been odd comments about him saying, whatever about his ability and that, but I think overall he's been a good addition. He's been a really, really good addition. Again, like I said, solid, professional. We can say that. You can say that. Oh well, we're still conceding as much goals. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. But let's be right here. I'm not looking at what goals we concede. I'm looking for one. Is it O'Connell's fault? Which, if I'm perfectly honest, I can't really identify. If I go through highlights, I might be able to identify a couple of things, but if that. But overall, I'm looking at what he's done in the sense of coming out from back, making right decisions, tackling, going to ground at right time, and everything like that. And overall, I can't knock the guy. The guy. I think he's, he reminds me a little, with Mark Robert. Unfortunately, with Robbo, I think he's getting older, and I think his pace has gone out. His defending, which is quite difficult when you're trying to play a high line. And I think O'Connell's got that little bit more pace about him, and
Yeah.
we have we have seen difference. I think it's a bit, if I'm honest, and I don't mean to slander fans or all. It's just an opinion and just an alternative opinion, I suppose. But I don't think he's been that bad. I think he's been all
I
right.
don't think he's been bad at all. I don't know what people's problem with him is.
No,
I think
no,
he's been absolutely. I mean, he's absolutely sound. Considering what we've had
yeah,
playing at centre back at times, you know what I mean? Some calamities we've been watching over the last few seasons. Owen O'Connell's miles in front of them. But anyway, it's
mm,
good. Owen O'Connell, really good signing. I was pleased with that. The only disappointing thing is it's for 6 months, and he's going to be gone in summer. And I can't imagine him staying around for this because he'll get a move elsewhere. So that's the
mm,
disappointing side of it. But um, there you go. Then we've seen Scott Banks come in. Now Scott Banks is a baller. He's a good player, mate. Um, you know, we have been negative towards the recruitment so far, with quite a bit of it about the outgoings and incomings. But you know, also I'm a firm believer in credit where it's due. The Scott Banks one is a good signing. It's a really good signing.
yeah,
Christ knows what Blackpool were doing letting him go. No idea.
yeah,
Why? I think it's because Everett's come in. He plays with wings back, and he just hadn't utilised him to his strength. But he's a good player. That kid. Really, very,
yeah.
very, very impressed with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you can tell that he's a relatively experienced player at this level. You can tell that he's been about football league a little. You know, didn't he play for
Yeah,
Bradford? Were it Bradford?
he did play for
Um,
Bradford. Didn't
yeah, played really well for them. Um, in all honesty, Ryan, and I'm going to be quite straight with you, mate. I felt a little bit nervous about the Scott Banks signing because it was just partly due to the fact that I didn't really know why Blackpool let him go. Obviously, I had that explained
Yeah,
to me later, but I'm just talking about that initial feeling. Um, I know, obviously, I watch a decent bit of German football as well. He
yeah,
wasn't really a part of that promotion. Uh, he was a
yeah,
part of the squad, but he wasn't in the team that got St. Pauli promoted. So that made me feel a
yeah,
little bit uneasy. But overall, I mean, that initial feeling's been proved completely wrong. I think he's a fantastic player.
yeah. He's really good.
Um, really, silky, good touch. Try to take it round players, try to get play going, times his runs brilliantly. Yeah, overall, happy with what I've seen so far. Let's hopefully he can keep that form coming.
Yeah,
Only slight little bit of thing, slight little something I'm talking about criticism, but we have seen his shot. He needs to be working a little bit more on his shooting and maybe taking it when he
yeah,
beats those players, putting shot, having a crack at goal. We've seen Cleary do that, obviously, and you know that it'd be great to have that asset from other wing as well, especially now we haven't got a striker, but we're not going back over that.
no,
Um, but McGoldrick is obviously in centre there, and McGoldrick is in half decent form at
yeah,
the moment. Um, so yeah, long may it continue. Let's hope for it. Let's hope we can. Let's hope that it can really push on.
yeah. And then we'll look at so before we get into Tom Bradshaw, at last, but the young lad from Wolves, Chirewa, don't know anything about it, if I'm being honest, mate. He
Yeah,
come on against. Why I keep thinking Accrington. Came on against Stevenage. Game were gone by that point, so I didn't really see much of him, to be fair. And then he didn't come on at all on he didn't come at all on Tuesday night. So jury's out with that one. I'm not going to say whether he is good or whether he isn't, because genuinely I don't know. So we'll have to see. Huddersfield fan says he's not so great, but I'd say what he did. What I did see him is Taylor's new arsehole at Elco last year, and actually scored, didn't he, as well? So.
yeah.
Um, but to be fair, Huddersfield fans' assessment of players that have been with them before and come to us in this window have been quite accurate so far.
Yeah, there has been. Yeah, there is that. It's
But there's
annoying
not
when
a lot.
they're
There's not a lot
right,
to
isn't
say about it. You know,
it?
I hope he proves us wrong. I hope he proves the Huddersfield Town fans wrong. And I thought, but he is here as a replacement. He is here as a replacement. Um, the Charlie Lennon signing I'm quite pleased with that signing. I don't think he's clearly not League One ready, because Connor would use him if he were going to use him, but he's not used him. He's brought that Chirewa into play at left wing. So I think Charlie looks a talent. I think we'll probably start seeing him a bit more next season. It weren't really one for the window. It's more one for the academy, and hopefully to push him on to first team football
Yeah,
in next season onwards. But the guy looks he looks an incredibly talented lad. I'm sure if he were good enough, Connor would be using him at this point.
yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
We might see him later on in the season. Might see him, it might just be a fitness thing or a strength thing or something like that because it is that jump is quite a jump. But um, yeah, we'll see with Charlie. Then I'm sure he'll end up being a good signing. And then finally, I believe I don't think there's any more that I've missed, mate. We've seen Tom Bradshaw coming back in on transfer deadline day. Now, I have to say, I feel sorry for Tom. I hope he doesn't go online and read people's messages because there was some quite things said. I don't think it was really directed at Tom. It was more directed at the board and the frustration of the fact that we've brought another loan in when we knew DKD were on his way out. Um, Personally, I think it's a good signing. I think it's a good signing as a backup and to be used as squad rotation, as you touched on earlier, Dan.
Mm.
But, you know, it doesn't look like that's going to be. It looks like he's going to have to be leading line with Didze.
Yeah, I think that's. I think can I. It's a weird thing this because can I explain it? Yeah, I can. If it was the regular, if it's the regular
Yeah.
run of things, and obviously this is not the regular run of things. Overall, I mean, it makes sense. The Bradshaw signing made sense to me. I don't think he were ever going to be a replacement for DKD. I
Yeah.
think Connor made that perfectly plain in his interviews. I don't think he was intended to be a replacement for DKD. Actually, then again, who knows their intentions?
Yeah, gag.
Uh,
I'm done guessing it, minute, mate. Because fuck knows with this lot, honestly.
I've, with the greatest respect, I've seen more sense speared on a wall and speared in shit on a wall than what their actions are. But yeah, no. Listen, I hope Tom refines his form. He were a decent servant. He were a good servant at club. In his last I thought he played alright. I thought he played well. In his last stint at club, and let's hope that he can add some coming off at bench because it looks like McGoldrick is going to be his main
Yeah.
number 9.
Always bagging, mate. Always bagging for us. That's 5 in 6 games. Or 4. Is it
Listen,
4
you
in
can't
5 or
knock
5 in 6?
McGoldrick. Listen, we've gone. It's sort of been a right weird sort of reception to McGoldrick. It started quite high. He got some goals during its season. It went higher, then it dipped, and now it's going back up again. So you've got to get Bloke some credit. And I mean, I'll be honest with you,
That's class,
Ryan.
mate.
I
He's
think
class.
for a 38-year-old player, he's got some right movement, and
He's class, mate.
he
He's
knows
class.
he
You can
knows
see it
where
in him.
goal. He knows where goal is, but the problem is, and the same criticism. It's not a David McGoldrick. It's the fact that you can't expect him to play a full 90 minutes in a game. It's just ridiculous. And I think,
Yeah.
but I mean, then again, and Connor knows that. We all know that.
We all know that. He's got no choice, mate. He's got no choice. He's on the lead the line, but yeah.
It's the people who's been up pipe a bit too long that don't understand that. So
So that's us cover off pretty much what's happened within the window. I think overall it could have been a decent window because we have actually strengthened in areas and we've got rid of some shite out of the squad. It could have actually been a decent window if they'd just gone and got that striker, and they haven't. And it's not just about just missing one player and being an overreaction to that. This has been coming for a long time. This has been happening in a window over window over window. And like I said earlier, it's the straw that brought the camels back. All they had to do with that, and they didn't, and they decided to pocket the money or whatever they've done with it because they've not spent one fucking penny of it, Dan. And they've left the squad short. They've left us weaker again in the January transfer window again, where we've gone into it with half a chance, and they've left us again with no chance, and made us weaker for the third January transfer window coming, and it's quite frankly not good enough, and these owners need to do one now. I've had enough. I think the majority of the fan base have had enough. It is time to go. So, just quickly before we finish off, Dan. We had a game on Tuesday night, so I don't want to spend too much time on it because we've been on an hour now. But I'll just quickly say what I want to say about Tuesday night. A quick wrap up, and then we'll talk about the Bolton game. I thought we played really well at times, but I thought we started slow. I thought first 15, 20 minutes we looked like we were sulking after window, and we looked like it was going to be a horrible 1-0 loss on a cold, rainy, foggy night. But then once we woke up 15, 20 minutes in, we played some good football in that first half. We really did. We played some really, really nice stuff. The lads put a real shift in, and I thought we played some lovely, lovely stuff. Should have been 4-3, 4-1 up easy.
Yeah.
Just a couple of decision making, like the Jürgen Nathan one where he won the ball brilliantly, got clear, got caught between two minds between squaring it for squaring it for Didzy or putting it in bottom corner, did not and put it wide. Did neither and put it wide. But I think overall, mate, the performance deserved 3 points, but it's just the defence
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the moments in games, and it's these moments that's costing us. It's those moments you've got to keep calm, and you've just got to try and ride it out. Overall, Ryan, I walked away. I turned telly off, and I was gutted, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was gutted about it because I just thought, you know what, regardless of what's happened, not 24 hours ago, I don't blame any of them. Like, they're there and they get paid away. They get paid away to play. And I thought we deserved 3 points out of it. I think we played better football. Build up were good. Everything were, strong ratings. But it's just those moments that's let us down. I think also probably not having much up bench is not helping. But that's
what's
just the
killed
way
it,
it
Dan.
is.
That is 100% what killed it, mate. We didn't have anyone to come off bench and
But
say either A, see the game out, or B, finish it off. We didn't have anything.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing though, Ryan. I keep every time we do a match review, we say the exact same. We say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's a broken fucking record. I can't. That's just the way it is at the moment, and that's the way it's going to continue to be. So we've just got to look at.
We've got Luca and Tom Bradshaw to come back into the squad on Saturday if there's no injuries. So there's a couple more bodies in there. It's still not massive depth on the squad, but we were really short. We were really short on Tuesday. So that said, then that moves us into to Bolton on Saturday. I'm undecided whether to go or not because Arrows is out at the moment, injured with his knee. So we may go. Although I think we're going to get spanked on Saturday. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, without being too negative, Bolton are in third. They're in a rich vein of form. They have heavily invested in January transfer window. I'm incredibly jealous of them because they've got owners that have come in and gone, do you know what? We've got an opportunity here. And they've gone out and done what they needed to do. And I think we get beat comfortably, probably 3-0 or maybe 3-1 on Saturday. What do you think, Dan?
I'm breaking my own rule here that I never back against my own team, but it's going to be. I'll go an optimistic defeat at 2-0.
Yeah.
Just
I
can't
think a draw would be a good result.
Can't see it.
Yeah. Bolton have only lost one all season at home, mate. As my mate Dave.
Brilliant.
David Bolton, one of the lads that know this Bolton fan, Dave, informs me they've lost one at home all season, and that's why they're third. That's why Bolton. But listen, Bolton are far too big for this league. The fact that they've been in it for 5 seasons is a bit of a travesty. But they seem to have found their feet. I think this might be Bolton's season, to be fair. So I can't see anything but a Bolton win if I'm going to be honest, Dan, without being too negative. But that's that covered off then. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining us, myself and Dan. We've been here over an hour. We've had a lot to say. Please, I'd love to hear what you think about the window. Please comment below. I'm going to be doing a review on Sunday of the Bolton game, because if I don't go, I'll be watching it on telly anyway. So I'll be doing a review of the Bolton game on Sunday. So please look out for that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Dan, thanks very much for joining me, pal.
Pleasure.
I hope it were a bit like therapy where you can get it off your chest. I mean, building it up inside and finally let it go. Maybe you'll feel a bit better about it now.
It'll be therapy until Saturday, and then it'll start all over again.
And then it'll ruin my weekend again. Yeah. So, right, guys, thanks for joining me. I'll see you all again on Sunday, but until then, I'll see you after.